This episode, I literally want to speak to you about a topic on principles, right? So I said the channel is based on principles. So everything that I'm talking about is what I'm implementing on this channel. This channel itself is me implementing principles, right? And frameworks that I've obviously been studying and implementing it here on the channel. So why principles? So there are three levels of learning. Okay, so this concept I was introduced to by a guy named Myron Golden. You'll find him on YouTube. Here on YouTube, you can search for his channel. It's packed with wisdom. So he basically coined this, or I don't know where he got it from. So, but that's where I was introduced to it. And one of his students, Elijah Bowie, also makes use of this in his 5-day challenge that he has, or 5-day teaching that he has on phoneless sales, right? So, yeah, getting into the topic. So, the definition that they apply to the word principles is as follows. So, a principle works for all people at all places at all times. So, principles works for all people in all places, locations, um, at all times. So basically, what that is, it's the highest form of learning principles, right? So you get principles, you get um, strategies, and you get tactics. So principles is the highest form or the highest level of learning because it will just work, right? So principles are laws or concepts or precepts that it governs. Like, yeah, principles are laws that govern. For example, we know the law of gravity, right? So it basically means if you're gonna jump off a building, gravity, the law of gravity kicks in, right? Where what goes up must come down, right? So gravity is basically a force that's pulling us down. Otherwise, we will be, if I were to jump off my house, I would be floating in the air, but it's not, right? Because of the law of gravity. So the law of gravity literally pulls you down back to earth, right? So that's what's the highest level of teaching as well, because people can teach you principles, and because of the principles, if you apply the principles regardless of the environment it's being used, right, or locations, so regardless of the environment it must work. Regardless of who you are as a person, principles must work. Regardless of skin color, regardless of which country you're based in, whatever that is, it's not an excuse because principle works. So if you follow the principles, it can also be frameworks, right? Because there are many different frameworks in whatever field of study, whatever industry you are in. So principles. So that's why the channel itself is based on principles, right? So a simple principle that I've learned from a guy by the name of Stephen Lawson. He said that content, like you see on YouTube, allows a business to continue to exist, right? So it hit me one time. So you can check, people have different types of YouTube channels, right? I'm more of my channel is more about what we do day to day that gets us to the end goal that where we want to be at, right? So you get a lot of different YouTube channels. You get business coaching. In business, you get people that concentrate on marketing and sales, and then you get people who concentrate on branding only. You get your big guys, your big influencers in the space, but because they are putting out content, which is a video online, which is blog posts, which whatever form, written or video, or even just audio, which we know today as podcast on your iTunes, Spotify, etc. It's content. And based on that principle, it says content will allow a business to continue to exist, meaning they have the content is creating business for them every day or every week. It's generating leads, it's generating prospects. People can see if they know, like, and trust this person. So that's why I lean or gear myself towards principles, I follow principles, because principles will work if you work it, obviously, right? So me putting out content is gonna warm people up to my personality, my philosophies, my thought processes, and things that I'm learning from. So that is what I'm obviously doing with this channel. I'm introducing you to my way of thinking, my method of thinking, where I get these things from. So that's why you will always hear me accredit the people who have influenced me in a certain way and has given me a principle that I work off and I work with and I apply. So there are other levels that is below principles. So you have principles, you have strategy, and you have tactics, right? A lot of people teach from tactics, or they teach you a strategy, but they don't teach you the principle, a framework you can follow that's consistent, that will give you a result that it is you want. Okay. You can find these principles in books, you can find it in podcasts, you can find it in YouTube videos, people that obviously knows what they're talking about. So uh, this this channel itself, living intentional living, it's based on the principle of a number of principles. It's like I said, preach what you practice. I can't tell someone go and create content and they don't see me creating content. It's also based on the principle that I just said, that content creates an ecosystem for your business to continue to exist. So people, if they search Ashmit Malan, they will find a YouTube video pop up via Google, right? So there are many principles that I follow, frameworks that I follow, and it's the highest form of learning. It's the highest form of teaching as well, teaching people principles. So again, like it says, principles are the laws that governs, right? And also, principles are the laws, or basically it tells you why things work. And remember, principles works for all people in all locations at all times, right? So regardless of who you are, if you follow principles, if you follow frameworks, you are going to reap the benefits thereof, the results thereof, because it should and will and must work in your favor. So thanks for watching this episode. I hope you found something useful, a new perspective on principles, or a new perspective on actually finding out what the principles are out there in your industry. Whatever it is that you're pursuing, what are the principles that will help you reach your objective, your goals, your vision, your dreams, right? And this is what this channel is about. It's like having youth actively thinking about what it is that will move the needle in your favor, what will move things towards your goals for you, by you doing certain and specific things and following specific frameworks that will help you get there. So stay tuned for the next one. If you liked any of the things I've mentioned in this video, do let me know in the comments. My description boxes, well, there won't be anything in there for now, but as the channel grows, we will see and have a look at it. So have a awesome day wherever you are in the world, at night or whatever time you watch this. I hope this is something valuable. Let me know in the comments what principles you follow, what frameworks you follow in your industry, in whatever it is that you are doing, for you to reach that goal that you want to. So stay tuned.